This world is all the energy of God. You don't have to run away from it. The energy is not good or bad. The usage can be proper or improper. A knife can save life in the hands of a doctor. It can kill people in the hands of the dacoit. Is the knife good or is the knife bad? It is neither. The usage is deciding. Ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence. But non-violence is not only in actions. It's also in thoughts. It's not that if you have not taken a stick and hit somebody, then you are non-violent. It's possible your words hurt that other person. That is also hinsa. Before the Great Wall of the communist bloc countries collapsed, there was this wall of Berlin between West Germany and East Germany. So at that time, East Germany was a part of the communist bloc. So one day, some spiteful East Germans, they took a whole lot of garbage cans and filth and rubbish and threw it over. Now when the West Germans received this gift, some of them were incited to become violent and give a tit-for-tat reply. The others said, no, this must be handled in a better way. So they filled cans of edibles and tinned foods and clothes, etc., and threw it back and said, each person gives what they have. What we have, we are giving to you. What you gave, never mind. Now you see, they silenced them off by their non-violent attitude. First of all, become non-violent. You may say, why should I become non-violent? For your own benefit, you wish to purify your mind, right? If you think of hurting others, if you think negative towards others, they will be hurt later on. You will be hurt first of all. It's something that the Dalai Lama teaches by his example. His country was snatched away from him, and the Dalai Lama refuses to hate the Chinese government for doing it. Why? The Buddhist philosophy teaches that if you hate the other, you will be the first person who will be harmed. So Maharishi Patanjali says, throw away violence. Don't, either in thought, word or deed, ever think of hurting anyone. And Satya. Satya is the commitment. Truthfulness, a commitment to it. One American took his dog to the church. The dog had died, and he asked the priest that a service needs to be done for the dog. The priest said, look, in our church we don't have services for dead dogs. That's our principle. This man said, well, that's a tragedy because I had intended to give $100,000 to the church on the funeral of this dog. I will not be able to do it. The priest said, now wait a minute. You never told me earlier that your dog was Christian. Where is the commitment to the truth? When Maharishi Patanjali is talking about Satya, he is talking about your commitment to the truth. And then he says Brahmacharya, celibacy. Celibacy releases tremendous power. Swami Vivekananda, when he came to USA, He felt the need to have some secular knowledge in order to be able to preach. So he took the Encyclopedia Britannica and he read it and learnt it by heart practically. And he would quote extensively from it. So people asked him, "What is the secret of your tremendous memory?" And he said, "This is Brahmacharya." So sometimes when I meet people with terrible memories, I say, "Look, what's going on here? Are you self-controlled or not?" And the last he says is aparigraha. Aparigraha is non-hoarding. When you live in this world, you need the objects of the world. You need clothes to wear, you need food in your fridge. To have items of necessity is not hoarding. You own the things, but don't let the things own you. What does that mean? See, a farmer was taking his cow and he met the sadhu. The sadhu said, "Whom does this cow belong to?" The farmer said, "It belongs to me." The sadhu said, "You have got it wrong. You belong to it." The farmer said, "What do you mean by that? How come you say I belong to it?" The sadhu pulled the rope of the cow from the farmer's hand and kicked the cow. The cow started running. The farmer ran behind. "Hey!" The sadhu said, "I told you, you belong to it. You are thinking you are owning it. Your mind is so attached that it is actually owning you and you cannot bear this separation. So moment I have kicked it, you are running behind." So when we belong to the objects, then the hoarding is taking place. You may be living in a palace and still be maintaining a parigraha. One sadhu used to reside in the forest. A king became his disciple. The king would go to the sadhu and offer items of service. One day he thought that, he is my guru and he lives in a straw hut and I live in this luxurious palace. This is not appropriate. Ultimately, Guruji should also be given service. So he made a palace for his guru equal to his own in opulence. Now his guru is also living in an equal palace. If the disciple was happy, "I have done seva of my guru." But the mind is such, it doesn't let us live in peace and the buddhi keeps doing some mischief. So the king thought, now there is no difference between guru and me. He is living in the same opulence. So he said, "Guruji, अब तो हमारे में आप में कोई भेद नहीं रहा ना. You are exactly like I am, a worldly man." Guruji smiled. He said, "Beta, come, let's take a walk in the forest." So the disciple king said, "All right." So now they walked and talked and walked and talked. And after 1 hour, the king said, "Guruji, will we not go back?" No, let's walk a little more today. We've got enough time." They continued walking and talking for another hour. After 1 hour, the disciple said, "Guruji, it's been 2 hours. Can we go back?" "Arey beta, let's take a little longer. What is the hurry?" They had been walking for 4 hours now. The disciple said, "Guruji, are we not going to go back?" Guruji said, "Beta, there is no need to go back. Let us live out here now." The disciple said, "Guruji, how is that possible? I have got my queen, I have got my children, I have got my palace and my opulences. How can I live out here? Guruji said, Beta, that is exactly the difference between you and me. You said there is no difference. You are living in a palace, I am living in a palace. This is the difference. You are not only living in the palace is living inside you. And in my case, I was accepting your offerings to protect your seva bhav, to do your bhav raksha. You were offering it with love, I was accepting it. But I had absolutely no attachment. Tomorrow I can live here in the forest, it will be as good as living there in the palace. In other words, we are to live in the world, but not let the world live in us. And how do we let the world live in us? One of the ways is by hoarding. By hoarding means attachment to the things of the world. We keep on collecting. सामान सदियों का और पल भर का भरोसा नहीं. The human form is such, there is no guarantee of one moment, and yet the objects we collect are for lifetimes. This is the hoarding that is going on. Maharishi Patanjali says the hoarding will cripple your freedom of mind. And the yam is no hoarding. How will it cripple the freedom of mind? There was one trader. This trader, being rupees and paise man, he was extremely attached to his earnings from the shop. He had fallen sick and he was lying on his bed. His family members, his sons knew that father is now fatally sick. They had all gathered around his deathbed. His wife was also there, his sons were there, daughters-in-law were there. But the old man was trying to say something. He was saying, Ba Jha. So what is he trying to say? Ba Jha. So the sons thought that maybe our father has got some property that he forgot to tell us about. And he's trying to inform us, but he's not able to do it. So they said, Doctor, can you not make him speak again? The doctor said, it's a very expensive injection. It will cost 50,000. It will make him open his throat, but there's no guarantee that it will not affect his life. They said, if he is going to hand over some treasures to us, then worth the risk, give him the injection. The doctor gave him the injection. So now his throat opened up. He said, Arey, why are you looking at me for so long? I am repeatedly trying to tell you, wahan us kamre mein bachda jhadu kha raha. See, the calf in the other room had been eating the broom. And the old man was feeling the terrible loss. My broom is being eaten and you people are so negligent. So he is telling them, Ba, bachda, jhadu kha raha hai. And he spoke that little bit and collapsed. This is the hoarding. So Maharishi Patanjali says, free yourself from the hoarding. Decide that only what is necessary and the rest will give it away. We don't need to run away from money. Some people see money as material and detestable. Nothing in this world is material by itself. It is the consciousness. You see, there was great devotee of Lord Krishna called Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He would say, to beget a Krishna conscious child, I will have sex 100 times. In other words, he is seeing that as a service to God, to get a Krishna conscious child. This world is all the energy of God. You don't have to run away from it. The energy is not good or bad. The usage can be proper or improper. A knife can save life in the hands of a doctor. It can kill people in the hands of the dacoit. Is the knife good or is the knife bad? It is neither. The usage is deciding. Similarly, money in itself is a Shakti of God. Some people worship it as an expression of Lakshmi Devi. It's the Shakti. You use the Shakti in the service of Shaktiman. Get all you can by legal means and give all you can. Give it all in seva. So when you give it all, then it is used in the service of God. So whatever is required for our body, after that we give it away in service. It belongs to God. It is for Him. This is the non-hoarding tendency.
JK Yoga announces the very first virtual mega event ever, International Festival of Yoga. For free registration and admission, visit jkyog.org today.